There's a difference between an individual who is in the fitness industry and a person trying to sell fitness products. They're not one and the same. One person is about living a healthy lifestyle, and the other person is about taking some type of supplement, drink, or whatever in order to sell something to you. Look at the person as an example. If the person who is saying they're representing the health industry doesn't look healthy themselves, doesn't seem to make healthy choices, maybe they go to the gym, but outside of that, there's no other evidence that they live a healthy lifestyle, let that be your proof. Don't be confused by those people who push products. Look at the people who are actually living the healthy lifestyle and actually walking that walk for advice. All right, so tonight's dinner is just fresh green beans, and you can't see, but I have chopped up mushrooms underneath here. Anyway, I have beef au jus with some chipotle seasoning sauce on it. And so what I did is, I'm just want to reveal some of the tricks I use to make my food more flavorful and more satisfying, even though it's low carb and like that, and using a lot of fresh vegetables and things. I steam my vegetables. I don't cook them down to retain the nutrients, number one. And number two, I don't season my vegetables. And I don't need to, because usually when I make my meat, I have some sort of sauce with it. And what I do is I just mix that sauce with my vegetables. Like I'll ladle it over the top of the vegetables, or just set it all on top of the vegetables. And then that way it has enough flavoring, so it's not requiring you to put any additional salt. And then, as you can see, I have some brown rice like garnished all over the top of the meat. And so usually I don't do this, but when I really want to make sure that I feel like I had a little bit more carbs than what I did, I should have, instead of having that, carbs on the side, that brown rice on the side, I just just sprinkle a little bit over the top, because I don't really do, size of rice or size of pasta or anything like that anymore, because at the level that I'm trying to be at, I can't be doing that on the regular. That has to be, maybe a couple times a month as a treat. And so, yeah, this is how I'm able to eat well, eat a nutritious meal without feeling like I'm missing out on something. I remember the early days of my health journey. I will always go for the healthy food product that was on the commercial. Activia commercials that promoted, oh, this is healthier for you, oh, this is low fat, oh, blah 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 blah. Advertisements directed at desperate people who don't know that much about getting healthy. Low fat this, low carb that, less sugar, etc., fat free. The more you start to learn about what being healthy really is, and what's in the food, and why we eat it, and what it does, that's when you actually start making better choices. Otherwise, you're just going to be having a pantry and a refrigerator full of trendy little things, but you'll still be big, and it's just a waste of money and you're not getting anywhere. When you go to the gym, you're going there to rip into your muscles, specifically areas that you need to build up. When you are still overweight, it's hard to know where you need to build muscles specifically. You need to be specific about what areas you're trying to build. If your arms are nice and naturally muscular, like mine for instance, then you want to focus in more on your legs. If it's your legs that are more muscular, focus in more so on your arms. The point is being proportionate and symmetrical. You shouldn't be walking around with a big upper body, small lower body. You're supposed to be tailor making your exercise regime based on what you need to fix. Train that more than you train the areas that are more developed. Even when I was really skinny growing up, I never had a naturally small waist. And so now that I'm a trainer, I know exactly how I need to deal with that in order to give my body the appearance of a small waist, or the tapered V, or the X shape. And one of those things is to build up the shoulders, the delts. It's not going to be doing a million crunches or a million Russian twists. It's going to be more so on creating an illusion. And so there's certain people, they will never have a tiny waist, but what you can do is build your body in certain areas to make it look like you do. There is an erroneous stereotype about people in the fitness industry and personal trainers and bodybuilders and things. It's like people expect us to be dumb or stupid, and that's what they portray on television. And you know, these people are so smart. They have to understand biology, they have to understand chemistry, they have to understand nutrition, they have to understand body mechanics. There's science to all of the things that we're doing. We have to calculate our food, the exercises we're doing, when to do it, and formulas that we have to recalculate over and over again in order to be the architect of our bodies. That's one thing you don't want to assume, is that a fitness person is stupid, because we're not. So these right here are a lifesaver for me. I originally bought them to go on top of my salad, and found myself snacking on them a few times. And the great thing about these is that they curb my sugar cravings. So what it is cranberries and few roasted pecans. Now, the point is to find something that curbs your sugar cravings, that is not a trigger food for you. A trigger food is something that you have very little control over how much you eat. As soon as you eat one, you want to eat 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you just overeat on them. For these, I can just eat 3. My sugar craving is gone, and I don't touch them for the rest of the day. Very little calories, very little consequences. Find you something like this. Things started to change for me when I got determined to view food as fuel, and to eat food for my function rather than just for fun. Taste became second to primary function of the food. And so when I look at my lifestyle and the things that I want to do for that day, I look at what kind of foods I need, what's going to get me there, and what's going to get in my way. And those foods that are going to get in my way, I ignore those, and I reach for the things that are going to fuel me. I have certain ways of tweaking foods and making them taste the way I want them to taste. But the priority is, what is it going to do for me? And that's how you have to look at it if you want to transform the way that you eat. This right here is a good friend of mine. You see a lot of people walking around with big jugs of water. I don't do that, but I do drink a gallon or more a day through this, okay? Get yourself a 20-ounce cup, all right? Fill it up, drink your water, fill it up again, and just keep filling it up. Every time you get to the bottom, make sure that you have at least 6 a day, and you will have drank a gallon. Don't worry about pills, supplements, or teas to curb your cravings for food. This will curb your craving. Drinking water, plus you'll be getting the water that you need. You'll be letting go of water weight. Water, the hydration will curb your appetite. Trust me.
Queen Diva, she about to explode. Oh, let's go, let's go. Oh, let's go, let's go. Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I've been working all day, working all night. Hey, Release your wiggle. 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 Release your anger. Release your mind. Release your job. Release.
So I had a customer come in and she was asking me which donuts were baked and which ones were fried. She wanted me to call my boss to find out. I don't know which ones are baked or fried, but at the end of the day, it's still a donut. It's still unhealthy. She was more worried about the type of oil that we use to cook the donuts rather than the sugar that's covering the donuts and the sugar in the donuts and the carbs and the calories, etc., etc. And so at the end of the day, you can't be so caught up with the health food trends that you're not actually making healthy decisions. You can worry about things like ingredients, which are important, but what's most important is you looking at the types of food you're eating. If the types of food you're eating are unhealthy, you're going to be unhealthy regardless.